So today is a very exciting day for me because I finally hit my goal. Woohoo! I am no longer fat and I am on cloud 9 today. I actually was a pound below my goal weight, which was 149.9. I am 5'5", and so my BMI was 149.9 was the normal, and so I woke up this morning and I was 148.2. So I am ecstatic. My next goal is about 140. So we'll see how that goes, but I told my family they can no longer call me fat. Not that they really did, but you know, for the sake of argument, I am no longer fat. Okay. It's been like a year and 3 months that I've been kind of working on this. It's really hard with an autoimmune, but while I was posting, I actually got a message from somebody who wanted to go plant-based, and they said, hey, do you have any pearls of wisdom? So I'm going to give you some pearls of wisdom that I've learned over the course of this year. Just to let you kind of know, my family is not plant-based. They are mostly vegetarian in the house. I do not allow meat in. They can eat it whenever they want anywhere else, just not meat. And we allow cheese and butter. So, and we have chickens, so if there's any eggs, we have those. So that's kind of the little background on my family. They are not plant-based. So the first pearl of wisdom is keep it fun. Because the moment it's not fun and it's not like a challenge to you, it just falls apart. I mean, this is a lifestyle. Like, you have to do this for the rest of your life. And like, you want it to be fun and exciting. And I love going and finding like funky foods that I've never tried before, weird fruits, and looking them up on Google, like, how do I even eat this? What does it taste like? And then trying it out and see if I like it. But I love finding new recipes and watching YouTube and just trying out different plans to see how my body reacts to it. And I have so much fun, and I love it. So that would be my number one tip, is to keep it fun, because it needs to be fun. Number 2 is keep it super simple. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, there's so many plans out there, I don't know what to do. Well, just eat more fruits and vegetables and more beans and more whole foods. Basically, hold it in your hand. Do you know what it is? Is it one ingredient? Like, eat that. That's okay. Stick to the produce section, the dried section, the beans, the rice, the potatoes, just whole foods, nothing packaged or anything like that. The next thing is to clean up your environment. So because my family is not following what I'm doing, my environment isn't super clean. But the difference is you have to figure out for you what your trigger foods are so that you can clean those out of your environment. I don't have any problem allowing regular Doritos in the house, or Cheez-Its, anything cheesy, those puffs and all that stuff. Like, I don't eat that stuff. It's disgusting to me. I don't care. But if you bring in Cool Ranch Doritos, I'm going to have an issue, because I love Cool Ranch Doritos. So those are not allowed in my house. Little Debbie is not allowed in my house. She's no longer welcome. I'm still eating chocolate. I try to do cocoa powder in smoothies if I'm really craving chocolate, but I'm not opposed to a Hershey candy bar. But other than that, I mean, you really have to know. I can't have tater tots in the house, but I can have French fries. It's just something about the tater tots that I crave. I could eat a whole entire bag, and they're fried in oil before they're even frozen. So when you get them, they're full of oil, and then you're usually cooking them again in some sort of oil. So no, tater tots not allowed in my house. Junk food wise, the kids are allowed to eat whatever they want somewhere else. My husband, if he wants Mountain Dew, it's kept in his truck. It doesn't come in the house, because I will end up drinking some, and it makes me feel awful. So figure out how clean you need to make your environment, and clean up your environment. Get them on board, whatever you can do. Another thing is utilizing Pinterest and YouTube, because those are your best friend. YouTube has tons of people who are eating plant-based. All you have to do is put in whole food plant-based, you will come up with people doing Dr. Furman's plan, Dr. McDougall's plan, Dr. Greger, raw till 4, completely raw, high raw, just everything. And you can do that. Look through those videos, see what you think will work best for you, and then try that plan. Commit to a 30-day somebody's plan, because it's easier with a plan. Utilize Pinterest and get some recipes that are compliant with what you're doing. I have a healthy eating board where I've put some things in for our family that are kind of staples that we eat, things I've made for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Make a Pinterest board, start pinning all the recipes for your family, and don't expect your family to go like all into this at the same time. So one of the things I told her earlier in our conversation was, she said her husband definitely is not going to be on board with this. And I said, you know what? I said, why don't you just make a meal like a chili or a jambalaya and don't put any meat in it and see if they say anything. Maybe it's one meal a week that you can sit down with your family and eat it all because it's compliant for you and them. Another thing you can do is use meat alternatives for the rest of your family. It's just an experiment. Ask them if they liked it. If they didn't like it, well, then don't use it next time. But I found that there were plenty of recipes that I could make that my family didn't even realize were vegan, and they were. But committing to a plan is very important at the beginning, because if you don't really know where to start besides just eating normal food, you can stick to somebody's plan. Dr. Furman had a lose 10 pounds in 20 days, and I followed that plan for a while. Dr. McDougall has the starch solution. I followed that plan for a while. I didn't really do a raw till 4, like the 30 bananas a day type of thing, but I was raw until dinner time, and then I ate a compliant dinner with Dr. McDougall's compliant rules. But they're basically all the same anyway, and as long as you're eating whole foods, you're bound to lose weight. And by the way, I didn't exercise most of this. I just went out for a walk once I could walk, and then I tried to walk every day as much as I could, and it usually was 30 minutes to an hour. So, you know, take a friend, take a dog, whatever, on a walk. But that's all I've done, and I've hit my goal weight. From starting at 189, I am now 148. So you don't have to exercise. It's mostly for heart health, but do change your diet the best you can. The two biggest things is eat when you're hungry and quit when you're full. And if you're hungry again a couple hours later, eat again. It's fine. As long as you are picking the whole food options, you will be fine. Now, I know that some of you are like at work and it's hard for you to eat in the middle of the day. And in fact, I have to kind of time mine so that, I don't know, if I'm not hungry for breakfast and I get hungry like around 10 o'clock, well, I eat lunch at 11:30 usually, because like I eat with the elderly and we all eat together. So I will just wait until 11:30 and just eat my lunch. And then I always bring my morning smoothie, because I have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I have to bring my morning smoothie because I'm never hungry for it. I bring my lunch, which is usually a big fat salad. And then I bring 2 or 3 bananas for an afternoon snack, because I clean houses after I get done at 1 o'clock at my job. So I'm not even home until 4 or 5 o'clock, and I need to be prepared for that. So bring little snacks, bring fruit, eat it at your desk, like bring smoothies, put it in a water bottle where no one will notice, and drink your smoothie, and then fill it up with water and continually drink water throughout the day in that same container. So there's ways of hiding food so that you can still be compliant and eat. Grapes are good to take on the go. Peel your orange ahead of time, take some bananas, just little stuff like that. But eat when you're hungry, and you need to stop when you're almost full. So when you eat, pay attention to the way the food tastes. When you're hungry, food tastes freaking awesome, most of it. It depends on what recipe you make, and, you know, I won't get into that. But if you're eating just fresh food, it tastes so amazing that first swallow. And as you eat, you'll notice it just doesn't taste as good. It doesn't taste as good, and then pretty soon you really could care less if you eat anymore. That's when you're about 80% full. So just stop. If it's not tasting the best anymore, just stop. Even if you don't feel full, it'll eventually make you feel full. And then be prepared if you get hungry a couple hours later. So when I was eating, I need to move. When I was eating Dr. McDougall and Dr. Furman, mostly McDougall, I was 3 meals a day. It was pretty satisfying. I was good. When I switched into Dr. Furman's, I had to do a couple snacks. And then when I went raw about a month ago, I had to eat 4 meals. And then don't eat 3 hours before bedtime. Your body needs to know that you are done eating, and it takes a couple hours for it to realize that you're done eating, and then it'll start going into like your sleeping shutdown mode. So right now I've kind of been looking up stuff on the circadian rhythm and how our bodies are set up to deal with food during certain times of the day and when exercise is optimal and all that stuff. So I've kind of employed the only eat when it's actually light outside. So from sunrise to sunset, that's the time I can eat. In the wintertime, of course, that's a shorter amount, but it's not that much shorter that you can't do it. And then, obviously in the summertime, you're working longer outside, you're going to need more food, so you're going to be eating more. So that's kind of what I've employed. If it's dark outside, I'm not eating anymore. And it just kind of goes with your schedule, I guess. You have to figure out what works best for you. But these basic things, don't eat 3 hours before bedtime no matter what. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Utilize YouTube and Pinterest. Commit to 30 days of somebody's plan to help you get started. Clean up your environment by knowing what you can eat and what you can't eat, and that's a process. Keep it simple and have fun. This is a journey. It is like a marathon, not a sprint. You're not in it for like the short term, little tiny, I want to lose like 20 pounds, and then you lose 20 pounds, and then you go back to eating crap, and then you gain it back, and the yo-yo thing is stupid. Just find a way that you can eat the rest of your life, and don't sweat the small stuff. If you start majoring in minor things, oh my gosh, I'm not getting all my vitamin E, or I'm not getting all my iron at the beginning, like, please, you have enough stores on your body right now to don't have to worry about that for at least 2 to 3 months. So just get started, get into it, and as you go, you'll start learning, and you'll know, listening to your body is the best thing you can do. There were times where I was hankering fruit like all the time. That's pretty much all I ate was fruit. I was hankering starches, and I was hankering vegetables. And so like all those other things kind of went by the wayside, and I just focused on what my body really needed. I do log all my food in Chronometer to make sure that I get enough calories, and I suggest you do that too, and keep a food journal. Food journals are very, very important. You are like 3 times as likely to succeed and keep this way of eating if you keep a food journal for 2 years. The statistics on that are just crazy. By the end of 2 years, pretty much everybody but like 1 or 2% has reverted back to their regular way of eating. So keep a food journal. If you don't want to log your food or your calories, that's fine. Keep a food journal. Write down, either weigh your food or just eyeball it and say, okay, it was about a cup of this, about 3/4 cup of this. But that way, if you wanted to log your food, you could. And so I suggest that for everybody, just to make sure they're getting at least 1,200 calories. Log your food, even if it's just in the food journal. Write down how you're feeling that day. How much water you drank. Did you do any fitness? If you ate something, did you feel bloated afterwards? Because you might have to do food combining, or you might have a food allergy like I did. My whole journey, it took me like a year and like 3 months or so to lose all this weight. But my journey actually started about 4 years ago. And it's a process, and you have to take time. I mean, this is you. No one's going to take care of you but you. So you just need to give yourself the time, and you didn't get unhealthy in, 5 months or even longer. Some people, I was going for years being unhealthy. So I expected it to take years to get healthy, and I was willing to wait. So those are my pearls of wisdom. I hope you use them, and good luck on your journey. And it feels so awesome to actually be the weight that I am. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and bless you.